You know, a narcissist will test you right out of the gate. As soon as they meet you, they start testing you. You see, your capability to keep taking the abuse is the first test that they're going to give you. The first thing that a narcissist looks for is your capability to keep taking on the abuse that they're going to spew up on you. What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is a narcissist in the beginning of the relationship is quite amazing, right? And shows you the brighter side, the kinder side, and the affectionate side. But at the same time, they do something that I call mini discards, mini devaluations, to check what your level of tolerance is. And they will do this. You see, they are testing the waters to see if you can take their abusive behavior. If you are the one who justifies the abuse because of your past experiences, if you're the one who can oversee or not see their true nature, if you're someone whose boundaries are weak, it's what they're looking for. They also look for how big of a giver you are. You see, the other trait they look for in a potential supply is if they are a giver or not. What I mean by that, okay, so what I mean by that is if in your childhood you were abandoned and your primary way of connecting is overgiving and oversharing and self-sacrificing, they would test it out. They would, for example, ask for things, make ridiculous demands, and see if you can say no or not. See if you have the certain limitations or not. If you don't, that's all good. That's what they want. And once they know you don't, they go all the way in. And they slowly but surely, that turns them into them treating you like garbage. You guys, they will treat you like a garbage bin. Do you hear me? Because they know no matter how they treat you, no matter how much they take from you, you're still going to be there. Which leads me to what's next, right? Are you a fixer? Because again, if you have your childhood wounds and you were someone who was like maybe the caretaker of the family, you became the caretaker of your parents or your siblings or just somebody, even if your job is caretaking and you were the one who would fix everything in the family, that can wound. That's the wound that they can activate, okay? You see, they look for people that are like this, y'all. In a narcissistic relationship, they test all of that type of stuff. They want to see if you are a fixer. If they can see that you are the one who never gives up and who finds solutions, who goes around and makes things right? Who fixes things. They will on purpose break things in a relationship and then wait for you to fix it. This is how they test you, testing your boundaries, testing how you're going to treat them. And if you go on and do the fixing, then you become premium supply. That's exactly what they're looking for. You see, a narcissist would create a sob story, would create a web of lies about their past, how they were treated miserably by everyone that they've ever been with so far, or how their childhood was just, oh my God, so painful, and how they were traumatized, you see. They do not do it with the intention of sharing it with you or being vulnerable. It's just that they're testing you to see what you're going to do in response to how they're going to treat you. And of course, anyone who is healthy would show compassion, right? Would show care, right? And understanding. But it depends on to what level. They become the victim to test your empathy, to test your levels of giving them your sympathy, to test how big of a caretaker that you are, to find out what you're going to do when they behave this way. So then they start doing things like the silent treatment. They want to see how you deal with that. Your boundaries, if you want to say yes or no, are you going to cave and stand your ground? Gaslighting, are you going to accept their BS behavior or stand your ground when you call them out? They start the blame shifting, instigating arguments, making callous comments or putting you down. They will review your social media accounts to gather information and study you. They will definitely do this. Definitely check your social media. That's their technology, you see. And you know, these are the type of things that narcissists do to test your boundaries to find out who you are. What are you going to put up with? How much abuse can you take if they decide to make you premium supply, primary, the main supply, keeping you around? And that's the thing. Lots of people don't understand in the beginning. That's why they gather so much intel on you to find out what you're going to put up with. And if they can't control or manipulate you, then you serve no purpose for them. They must be the ones who are in control. Narcissists only seek people they can control because they can provide narcissistic supply, the best supply, right? And interestingly, once someone decides to no longer provide narcissistic supply, it's like cutting off a narc's oxygen, y'all. It can make them crazy, especially if they have no backup person to run to, which they usually do, but sometimes they actually don't. Narcissists view this as a form of rejection when you don't do what they want you to do. They don't handle it very well. They just don't. And they love to try to get you to succumb to anything that's going against your wishes. Anything. And that's crazy, y'all, because before you know, you'll be giving in to bigger and bigger things. Eventually, you will change your code of ethics dealing with the narcissist. Your moral code will change. Your way of life will change. One day, you'll wake up and literally not know who you are. You will have successfully allowed this individual to erode your sense of self. You see, if you cannot make decisions, even the smallest ones, this is a very big sign that this has happened to you. If you are a people pleaser and cannot say no without feeling guilt, these are also signs. You see, y'all, boundaries define us. They are who we are. Boundaries are set up as rules, preferences, needs, and wants. They define where we stop and someone else begins. And that's what we have to be concerned about. You see, narcissists usually see us as an extension of themselves. And we are beneath them to them. We are their servants to them, their property. We are not a person. We are a thing to own and boss around. That's about it. And they pretend it's a relationship, but rather it's possessive with them on a pedestal. That's all that it is. All your rights get stripped away from you. Most people don't even realize this, but this is what happens. You're losing everything. And you know, when your rights are being stripped away from you slowly in small ways at first. So it's not enough to trip you, right? It's not enough to turn on a warning light to make you understand, like, what's really going on here? Because you quickly ignore that questioning the response that you have. It's more like within your subconscious mind. And if you stop and question it or mention it to others, you will sound crazy because it's such a small thing. You'll be accused of overreacting, overthinking, being depressed, too sensitive, confused, making a mountain out of a molehill, right? But what is really happening is your intuition and your subconscious inner knowing is screaming at you to pay attention. That's what's really happening. It's not good for you. And most times people ignore it because our logical mind overrides our intuition. And we have to stop doing that. Narcissists are very good at downplaying the crap that they are feeding us. Bad words, actions, belittling you, anger, hostility, raging, all of that. All of that they take away from you. And they deliver just this, oh my God, the delivery is just so, y'all. And they do all this stuff with a calm demeanor on their face, right? And it's hard to recognize. It's really hard to recognize. And that's the energy that rode you on a road to evil, straight up evil. You have to gauge, by how it makes you feel. If you feel bad, it was evil. You have to look around everybody and notice people that are in your life that are not like this, right? Who don't behave like this. This is behavior you've never seen before. Other people in your life don't act like this, so you know something is wrong with this individual when they're treating you like this. All they do is cut you down by downplaying or insulting your strengths. You weren't good enough, you'll never be good enough. Even when it's near perfect in your mind, they don't notice your strengths. They just don't. Listen, narcissists will compliment someone else who is far from you, who doesn't have half the strength that you have, right in front of your face to tear you down. This is what I call triangulation. They will do this to you to tear you down, y'all. They make your weaknesses a character flaw. They make you feel broken. It is not good. It's not good for your soul, not good for your system, not good for your everyday life. All they do is deliver hurtful and mean and terrible and horrible words to you. And they play it with a calm, loving, caring, wanting to help and be there for you with a smile on their face, right? But it's actually deceitful and harmful. When someone is angry, you can think to yourself, they probably didn't mean it, right? But when someone says mean things in a calm, calculated way, you believe them. You know they mean it. You believe it's truth. That's why you get trauma bonded to the narcissist. Because they're the ones hurting you and harming you under a guise of love. And that's the thing. Lots of people don't understand it or don't see it like that. Listen, when you're dealing with perpetrators like narcissists, everything they do is questionable, y'all. Everything they do is questionable. They test you by pushing your boundaries and seeing how much you can take, how strong you are, if you'll resist. And you see, when you don't resist, not even in the smallest way, you're easy prey. And they can up the ante faster and easier. And they'll stick around, sucking you off for fuel as much as they can. You become a target, a prey, and they will drain you dry. And the only way to avoid this is to set boundaries. Very strong boundaries. When we set boundaries based on our wants and our needs and our morals and our way of life, boundaries do not change when you are with different people. They just don't. They are consistent and persistent. Definitely have to be consistent, y'all. And if they change, it's not a boundary. That's a whim. If you set a boundary and the narcissist gets you to break it, that is worse than not setting one at all. Because to a narcissist, you are very, very weak. A boundary tells people, this is who I am. This is what I want to be. This is how I conduct myself. This is how I expect to be treated. It's up to you to tell others how you wish to be treated. You can't force other people to treat you as you wish, right? But you can refuse to be treated any kind of way. You can make sure that they understand that their behavior is unacceptable. This includes name calling, insulting, anything. Taking up your time. This includes anger directed towards you. This includes physical abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse. This includes demeaning you, condescending remarks. This includes mockery, brainwashing you, belittling you. This includes everything that has to do with you and your life and what you will and will not put up with. You have to enforce your boundaries. When someone starts yelling at you or saying things to you that you know you would say to another person or treating you with condescending behavior, you don't tolerate that. You leave it where it stands. You don't tolerate that. These are things you don't put up with. You have to learn to be you at all times and let nobody step on you. And some people need to understand when they cross you and do you wrong, that's it. All the wishy-washy, that's a wrap on that. You don't accept that kind of treatment. And you must stop the words and treatment and the abuse in its tracks. Because if you don't stop it, guess what? You become prey. You become a puppet for the narcissist. You see, it's shame on you the first time. And shame on me the second, right? And anytime thereafter. You don't allow people to treat you like that. Stay in your life and do you all these things. I think you're going to still be the same person. And you're going to put up with it and keep them around. You don't allow that. All they want to do is break your boundaries and get you to succumb to whatever drama, whatever rhetoric, whatever chaos they're going to spew up in your life. You won't allow this. Take this from no one. Doesn't matter the relationship. Family, friends, co-workers, whatever. Doesn't matter. You don't put up with this. Why? Because you don't have to. Know your worth. Know when to walk away. And leave it where it stands. That's what you do. That's how you treat a narcissist. You guys, I just want to share that with y'all. That is it for this video. Take time out to like, comment, share, subscribe. Until next time.